Good morning, Average Flatlanders. Today we're going to talk about something special. Berries and boot water. That's right. Berries and boot water. We're going to talk about a dude who got lost in the woods for 10 days and survived. In case you haven't been following the outdoor news, I'm sure all you bushcrafters, survivalists, and outdoor adventure enthusiasts, you've just been schooled by a 34-year-old hiker who became lost in the mountains of Northern California for 10 days. That's right, 10 days. He didn't take anything with him, no food or water. When he disappeared, 10 days later, he reappeared. This is really a lesson for all those alone watching armchair adventurous and survivalists who think they know what they're talking about. This is actually a real deal. This guy is a beast. So this dude got lost for 10 days. He left for a 3-hour hike in a remote canyon in Big Basin State Park in Northern California. He didn't come back for 10 days, if you can believe it. This dude told the news reporters that all he had was a flashlight, a pair of folding scissors, and a Leatherman tool. That's all he had besides what he was wearing when he left. I mean, the people on alone take 10 items and they know they're getting lost, and people can't even make it that far, which is funny. They can't make it that long, 10 days. This dude just had like a Leatherman scissors and his boots and a hat and a flashlight and didn't know what was going to happen, and he made it longer than these people who apparently are experts. So if you didn't hear the story, you're probably thinking, dude, did he build a shelter, kill an elk, kill a deer, catch some trout, make smoke signals, start a fire? What did he do? No, actually, he didn't do any of those things. He told his rescuers that he survived 10 days lost by drinking water from creeks and waterfalls out of his boot. That's right, he drank water out of his boot and he ate wild berries that he could find, and he made a bed of leaves, of wet leaves that he slept on for 10 days. That's it. Drinking water out of a boot and eating berries. I mean, the dude sounds like Sasquatch. I mean, I'm sure all the armchair adventurists and survivalist bushcraft people are having fits and saying, why didn't he take more stuff? He should have told people where he was going. He should have gone downstream till he found civilization. He should have had a fire starter on him or made a fire. Should have made more permanent shelter. What's he doing? Just piling leaves up? Why couldn't he catch a fish or trap a squirrel? I mean, the list is endless, I'm sure, of what people are thinking. But the truth is, according to him, he left on what he thought was a 3-hour hike, and that's how that stuff happens. It doesn't just happen in a vacuum. People don't plan to get lost or mean to get lost. It happens at the worst time, at the most unexpected time, just like this guy. He told people he was leaving for a 3-hour hike, and he never came back. Remember, this is just an average guy. The real-life survival is really like being on alone. You don't get to pick what's going to happen, when, what you get to take, and most time it doesn't happen to experts. It just happens to some average outdoor person like this dude. I think it's really interesting to talk about what we can learn from situations like this that are actually real and they're not on TV and not made up. Like, what can we learn from this? I mean, one thing we can learn is you can survive a long time if you have a water, and that's key. Staying near water and having a clean water source, I mean, that obviously kept him alive for 10 days. If he had left that, somehow wandered away from that water, there's no way he would have made it 10 days. And I think there's something to be learned about food here. I mean, obviously people think they're going to go kill a bear and survive out in the wilderness, whittle a spear and kill an elk or something, but that just probably isn't really going to happen. It's probably going to be plant food that keeps you going in the beginning. So being able to have plant identification in the general area where you live or recreate is probably a good idea, so you don't kill yourself eating the wrong thing. I mean, it probably depends on where you're at, but this dude didn't build a teepee shelter, he didn't build a cabin like he was going to be on alone, right? He just made a pile of leaves and made sure he had water and berries, and that was it. Also, the other thing is he got rescued because people heard someone calling for help. This is 10 days later, man, so this dude didn't give up. He had a will to survive, and he didn't stop trying to get found, which I think is key. Because if he hadn't been doing that and no one had heard him, he never would have got rescued. I mean, there's a million things he could or should have done, what people say, but it's just an average guy and he survived in the end. So he stayed near water sources and clean drinking water, and that probably kept him alive. That's probably the main thing that kept him alive 10 days. He ate wild berries. I mean, I don't know if he was guessing or not, but I mean, he got wild berries, so that's, tells you something. He did not give up calling for help, and he just had a simple shelter, a pile of wet leaves that he survived on. I mean, you could probably say he got lucky, yelling like that, maybe not, but it's just a reminder of the survival basics, it's just not like TV all the time. It's water, clean water, number one, a simple food source, berries, and this is perseverance not to give up. This guy's a beast.